Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Cooked Podcast, episode number 15. Today we interviewed Reyes Gonzalez and Alejandro Pacheco, the owners of Tea Time. They will be celebrating 1 year in business and adding even more entertainment to their facility. Together, these guys are all about growth for community and good times. Hope you guys enjoy. Pass by on a weekend.
Oh yeah.
It's like super packed in here.
Yeah, dude. That's honestly, it's been fun seeing that because when we first started, when we first started in May, it was like we would get like a good amount of people, I guess, that would come in, but nothing compared to now. But then like once school started, it was like dead. Like there were some days, dude, where some Saturdays that we hardly even saw people, and we're just like looking at each other like, dude, did we make a mistake? Because honestly, like there was like, especially once the summertime comes and people want to be more outside. Again, it's our first year, so more people are know about us or starting to know about us more now. But dude, there was a time where it was getting a little dicey. Yeah, because there was like the parking lot. Maybe it was like there was people, but people in here that were coming in, like there wasn't that much people that were actually coming to play golf.
Yeah, I think. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it's like the opposite of what you probably experience in your business, where like summertime, you guys are super busy.
Yeah.
Or like holidays, right, where it's like still summer or warm out.
Yeah.
Now boat race weekend, that was a scary.
That
week
was scary
because everyone wants to be outside, which so do I. Trust me.
Yeah.
But no, it was like one of those weeks where you're like, okay, $2,000 a week. I don't know if this is gonna cut out, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it happens. There's ebbs and flows.
Yeah, and I think it's just kind of that I think it's with any business, trying to get the word out, like trying to get people like to actually be interested in going out there. Like, dude, you got to figure it out with social media, which honestly, like one of the first times we met when you told me about it, I started implementing a little bit more of that. Haven't been as good as good as you were, but I started posting more on TikTok, dude, and that's
good.
Helped out so much. It was crazy.
You guys on TikTok. I'm like, hey, I know these guys,
dude. I know. Like we put it on there, like, and again, it's like the videos that you didn't even think were even gonna do anything. Like you just just filmed it and put it out, and it got a ton of views. And I'm like, dude, like all this work we put on this other stuff just for this one, it literally took me 5 minutes to put out, and everybody's seen it. You know.
Sometimes that's kind of how it works. Where like the least that you expect is like the one that you're gonna get the most out of. But I like that you guys are getting busier and busier every time.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good. I know my dad, he's always happy when he comes in here and sees that there's people here. Because I remember when I first told, I mean, my dad's, he's like 70 years old. My dad's like 70. He's an older guy. But when I first told him about the idea, he's Mexican, just like, he's like, mini golf. He's like, you're really gonna do a business out of mini golf? And I was like, Dad, like, trust me, and he's like, I guess, he's like, if you really think, if you're really gonna like quit your job to do it, he's like, you must be, thinking about, that it's gonna do something. But I remember when I first told him about it, he's like, dude, are you out of your mind? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what mini golf? And you're gonna make a business out of it? I was like, dude, come on, like, trust me.
Dude, if I could tell you how many times people came in here, and even our own family, like my dad still says it till this day. He's like, hey, mijo, this could be a quinceañera place. Like, you should do this, you should do that.
Oh, like an event center?
And we don't really talk like money at least I don't with my parents. I'm just like, they see that it's busy, but it's just one of those things, like culturally just growing up, they're like, nah, I don't think that's going to work. You need to go do this instead. I'm like, well, not everybody's cut from the same cloth, and we got to learn a different way, But yeah, the amount of times people would come in when we're like doing construction,
when we first started,
it'd be like 5 people a week. Like, hey, what is this? What is this? Oh, no, you should do this instead. It's like, thank you. Get out.
I think, that kind of goes into like being stern on your vision because it's like yours, and not a lot of people are going to be able to tap into that.
Yeah.
So since you're like, you got to figure it out right here, not fully, but you got it 75, 80% figured out of like, this is how it's going to work. And then somebody comes in and like kind of just throws all that away, like tries to like right away discard it. Like, no, that's a great idea, but What about this?
Like, what about you bringing a banda and just do a dance floor right here? And it's like, that has nothing to do with mini golf.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't opposed to, like, doing, like, you know, bringing music in here, right? Live music, like even bandas, right? But they were like saying like the whole thing dedicated to like your dance floor and, you know, making a nightclub. And it's like, that's not, you know, the vision that we have, you know, like, but like you were saying, like, it's hard to really sell somebody on something that you can't see, like and especially you can't really compare it to anything that there is, because, you know, there wasn't anything like this. So it's hard to really like sell them and be like, this is what we want to do. This is what we're seeing. And then as it's going, you see it come together. Like, it's crazy to see it actually, you know, something that it's only in your mind and all of a sudden it's a physical thing. It's a crazy feeling. It's crazy. And then everybody starts seeing it too. You know, they can see it now. It's not just an imagination where you kind of have to really, you know, describe it and compare it, but now they actually see it and they, you know, it's something that they can see for themselves, you know. It's a crazy feeling.
That's cool. What do you guys think is like one of the bigger doubts that you guys had as the owners?
Like when we started, or
Yeah,
now?
when you guys first started, like what was like a big like doubt that you guys had, or like maybe like a kind of a bigger
Like a fear, I guess. Yeah, like a
obstacle that you guys knew was gonna be hard.
Yeah. I think for me personally, I guess I want to say it's common for every business to, like, are people going to come? Like, will people even want to come and, you know, obviously spend their money or spend their time here? Are the people actually going to want to, you know, see the value in this? I think that was my biggest fear. You know, I think that's everybody's biggest fear when opening a business. Like, are people actually going to come and, you know, come to my business? You know, am I just doing this all for nothing, right? Like, that's a fear, right? I mean, I'm sure that's a fear that you had as well.
Everybody has
you know,
that fear.
And I feel like that's the same fear, I guess, that stops people from doing it. Like starting a business is that fear that will it actually work?
Yeah, no, same thing. Obviously, you have so much time and money invested into it, and hours that you haven't even accounted for that you could pay yourself back, right? And you're just like, man, did I really just waste all that time, all that money? Because, I mean, don't get us wrong. Like, we were comfortable in our day-to-day. We had a good job. We had money to do every now and then go to see a Mariners game or something. But, you know, then
Luxury, life of luxury,
yeah,
you know.
No, luxury, right? Once a year.
Yeah.
But no, just being able to, like, go from that to, okay, every Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Monday night, whatever, right? We're going to be here regardless if there's a party or there's something. Like, going from that to sacrificing all that time and then the doors opening and then not seeing people in here, that was like we were saying, it was tough, it was scary, but I mean, it's just one of those things that you, as a business owner, you can't really plan for it, but you're thankful for the times that you do have people in here.
Yeah.
It makes you appreciate that more.
I think one of like the most beautiful things about like starting a business is like you get to kind of see the different seasons that your business goes through, and so you can kind of plan ahead.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of goes into like, at first it's like a big faith thing.
Yeah.
That like, okay, like I have this vision, and I also have like a large amount of faith that it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
And so like when you go through the different seasons, even when it might be a dry season, you can have at least that faith in the back of your mind, like
it's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be
okay. We're gonna be fine. Yeah, because even when we first, you know, brought up the idea when we were like, you know, hey, let's do this. You know, one thing is, so it was my sister and Alex, that we decided to do it, and we're like, you know what, like we've never ran a business, we've never done anything right and anything like this. We don't even know where to start, right? Like we don't even know what the first step is. Who do we, right? So we're like, you know what, we're gonna leave it in the hands of God. If you want us to move forward, you're going to let us move forward.
Yeah.
And we didn't force ourselves in any situation. We didn't really push, or, you know, it was almost like we got to the next step and that next door opened. Like and then we got there and then the next door opened, and, you know, cause even like when we were trying to find a realtor, nobody wanted to pay attention to us. We talked to so many. We're like, hey, we have this idea. Like, okay, what's your business experience? Well, you know, it's a startup. You know, we've never done anything. And, okay, we'll call you. You know, we'll contact you.
Yeah.
And then nothing. We never heard anything until finally we reached out to Century 21, and finally they actually sat down and actually, you know,
talk to you guys.
Talk to us. Yeah, and they
give you guys your time.
Exactly.
No, you said everything. Man.
No, that's good, man. at least you guys like stuck to it, and I love that you brought up that you left it into God's hands.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously the one that gave you the vision. You
Big
know?
time, big time.
And so that then you stuck to that faith and that vision, and that's a big part of it. I think that's the biggest part.
Yeah.
Because when you start out, like, you're not gonna see a lot of progression.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, like, people are telling you, hey man, like, I see more people in your business.
Yeah.
And then that's when, like, that kind of like fuels the spirit a little bit.
No, it feels, yeah, no, it makes you feel good. I mean, because then, especially, I mean, for us, or for me, I guess, when people come in here and they like are laughing and having fun and doing, and it's like, that's that's why we did it. This is, what it's all about, when they're laughing and they're like, oh, our kids don't even want to leave. Like, we're here like all day, this and that. And, we've had times where families are in here, I kid you not, for like 5 or 6 hours. Like, pretty much their whole day they're spending in here. And when you see that, it's like, dude, it's worth it. Like, that's worth it, seeing people having that much fun, But again, you just stick to like, okay, I'm going to focus on trying to make this, this place better, this business better. And what can we add on that's going to make people want to feel more comfortable staying here, come back. And I think that starts with like us, like the face, or the, like how you want, and the thing is, like, even like, so my nephew, he works here with us, and it's not like I ever sat down with him and I told him like, hey, this is step number 1 for customer service. This is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. And I think just from him watching me, like, and he's done such a good job. Like, dude, I'm so proud of that kid. But he just does such a good job, and I never once told him like, hey, this is how you have to talk to it. And he just like kind of picked it up just from seeing us and how we interact. And like I was telling you earlier, like, we've gotten comments like somebody left a big review saying like how good of a job he did, and I was like, dude, that's amazing. And I think we were out of town that weekend. We were nowhere to be found. And it was like, dude, that's awesome that we can kind of like, not be here, and that they take care of our customers the same way we would. That's like, cool, that's powerful, that's powerful.
Yeah. Sometimes we can't even foresee our own fruit of our labor.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's kind of like something that it's magnetic. Like, if I see that you're treating somebody good, then I kind of makes me want to treat somebody good.
Yeah,
too.
no, it's true.
And
it's
so
true.
like, you kind of pass that down to everybody around you.
Yeah. And I feel like they see that, like, people see that and they enjoy that. Like, we've had people that, some guys, young kids, they're probably your age probably, but they come in and it's funny because they're like, dude, I like coming in here, and it's, it's you two, or, you guys are in here, and he's like, because you guys are a good time, you guys talk to us, you guys interact with us, and I like coming in here because, we get to see you guys, and it's like, dude, that's, it's not even because they come here for the business, like, they come for you, like, that's a whole nother level of like, that's an awesome feeling, Yeah. And again, it's just because we just want to, we genuinely appreciate when people come in. Like, it's a genuine appreciation that we want to make you feel at home. We want to make you feel like a friend, like, because, when you walk into a business, that's what you want, you and I can't guarantee that this is going to be like the best spa that you're going to have the most fun ever in your life. But if at least I can contribute to, making you feel a little like that's the best I can do,
That's bigger than mini golf.
Yeah.
That's bigger than what we could have ever thought of,
Yeah.
So that's the beautiful thing about starting a business too, is like, there's so many value aspects that you bring to the community.
Yeah.
That it's not just about selling meat. It's not just about mini golf. It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
It's always bigger than that.
Dude, and then I was telling him, we were talking about it when you did the giveaway for the kids, dude. Like, that's so awesome, dude. Because that's not, it's not easy to do that. Like, I feel like people will look at that and be like, oh, well, yeah, he has a business, of course but it's like, it costs money, that's what it comes down to. Like, it costs money, like, but the fact that, you did it out of the kindness of your heart and kind of just like, that speaks volumes. Like, I don't know if people really understand. I'm sure other business owners will understand like how big, because usually businesses rely on the donations and be like, oh, hey, we're donating this, we're doing that. But like, the fact that you were like, as a business, we're just going to do this, that's incredible. I appreciate that. Honestly, that's and you were telling me about that you want to do something even bigger next year, and I was like, dude, let's do it. Let's do it. So it's more than just a business. It's more than that. It's the fact that you're able now to be in the position to help the community out. That's
exactly,
amazing.
Yeah, being able to like set yourself up to help, to be that guide and like you said, a leader too in the community. That's beautiful. Well, I honestly think that like everything that's good comes from God, and so I wouldn't want for me to be looked at, but for to be praising
Yeah,
God all the
exactly.
time. You know.
Exactly.
What do you? How long have you guys been open here now? For the people that don't know.
So we opened up May 3rd of last year. We officially got the keys in December of 2023, but yeah, from December to May is when we did all the labor-intensive stuff, and then we opened up May 3rd.
May 3rd.
Yeah, 2024.
So that's like what you said, 10 months.
10 months, yeah, next week. So I guess 9 technically, but yeah, 10 months next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy.
Usually everybody that talks about like business and has gone through the business venture, they say that your first year is like a big like learning curve.
Yo, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then your second year is when you can kind of see like more profits and more of like
Where everything's trending. Yeah.
And it's still difficult because even when you guys have those regulars and everybody's like looking at your business, it feels like that becomes another difficulty because now you got to grow your team. Now you got to, train people. And for you guys, it comes easy because you guys are just natural customer service guys. And like you guys lead by example, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No, yeah, no, being 10 months in, it's crazy because it feels like it, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it. Because I guess the fact that we've only been open, the 10 months, it feels like it went by quick, but also at the same time, it does feel like we've been open longer. And maybe it could be just because we had already been here working, like even before we opened, I quit my full-time job, and as soon as we got the keys, and we were just in here, like just working, working. Yeah. And it was just like, it was such a big place, like, so you really have to like, everything is you have to really work on every single inch pretty much with like it's painting the floors, but that was, like pretty much 5 months of just nonstop work. You're just, weekends, Sundays, whatever, Mondays too, every day you're in here working. And then finally you open up, and then that's, that starts a different chapter once compared to like you're fixing it up and now you're open. But it's flown by and we've learned a lot. But one thing I feel like even like with us, like one thing we said was like we're not really gonna start taking once we start making profits, or once we start we're not gonna take them for ourselves. We're like it's gonna go straight either to the business or straight to paying off our debts. And I feel like that's important to have within a business, because, or at least be with your partners or the owners, that you're in the same mindset, because I feel like I don't really have an ego. I know that he doesn't have an ego, where it's like we gotta like like, me first, or I gotta get something out of this. Like when we do it because we know we're investing into the business. We're because I know that if he's doing good, I'm doing good. We're all doing good. Because it's this. So I think that helped us out a lot, especially because not only are we able to like, obviously like work on our debts and stuff, but like a lot of it honestly just comes back here. Yeah. Like if you saw us when we first opened compared to now, we've made a lot of changes, and that's not by accident. It's like we're together. Like money comes in and it goes right back into the business, and I feel like it's helped because it only comes back even, because the people like it, so they come back more, and it's like you're reinvesting, and it's helping the business in general, Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, our relationship has gone through like waves of like, or not the waves, but hills right up and down. Yeah. Where like we got to know each other in 6th grade, and then like the next year he ended up going to McLaughlin because of I don't know, what do they call it? The zoning boundaries. Yeah. So anyway, we didn't see each other till high school. And then we became best friends again. And then like closer to senior year, we stopped being friends. And then like after our high school, we were friends. And then we stopped being friends because I went to college. But needless to say is like our relationship has developed so much. And I have so much trust in him. And like we're always on the same page that we're not going to finish each other's sentences. But like if we look one way and it's like, oh, hey, this plan's coming. And he already knows, he doesn't have to tell me like, hey, can I get your buy-in? It's more of like, hey, we're going to do this next, or me, vice versa. Wait, we're going to do this next. Like, oh yeah, good idea. I was already thinking about that, but I didn't tell you, right? But it's like, it's one of those things that, and like going back to the ego thing, we're so competitive, and yes, tennis is a competitive sport, okay? I'm just going to say that. But no, we were so competitive because like, I want to say our senior year, even like we were doubles partners, and up until senior year is like we're like, we're going to go our own ways. I don't know if it was because we thought we're better than each other, but it was just like, let's just try it out. And we did, right? But we were just always been so competitive like our whole lives that we've known each other. And like coming here, now it's
You guys
come full circle where
compete
we're
together.
like, hey, dude, if someone's going to talk smack about him or about the business, is like, you got two of us. So you got to deal with both of us now. So
That's so cool. The
No.
relationships built when you guys both go through things together,
Yeah.
like hard times together. That's the other end of that. The relationships are strong.
Yeah, they're gonna get a lot better. They're gonna get a lot
'Cause
better.
If you guys already went through that, what else? You know,
Yeah.
like what else can you? There's
What
nothing
else?
that can bring you guys down. You know what I mean?
No, that's true. No, and that's the thing. Like we always have our each other's backs, and you know, like I said, you know, I'll bring something up, and then we'll kind of like go back and forth, and not in a disagreement way. It was like, no, I don't like that idea, but it's like, let's do this, and then we can do that, and then we always, you know, we always will end in, you know, and I mean, I don't think we ever had like a disagreement really, just because again, like we trust each other. It's like, dude, if you think that's gonna work, like let's do it, you know. But I think we can do it this way, and oh yeah, I didn't think about it that way, and then we go about it. But I mean, have we had a disagreement?
well, no, I mean, I
Oh,
think
he's thinking about something.
no. It's 'cause
He's still mad.
He's still mad about
no,
it.
it's our girlfriends. Our girlfriends hate that. I don't want to say hate. Hate's a strong word, but
It's like-
they like to hang out with us by ourselves, right? Everybody does, but we like to hang out with each other so much, and we're going to talk about the business because it's 24/7 with us.
Yeah, of
But
course.
we'll still try to find pockets where we can go watch the Americans game, hockey, baseball, Dust Devils, right? Little things like that. But we're always talking business, and they're like, "Oh, do we have to do this? Do we have to do that?" It's like, well, yeah. Like we're over here, like we're not public figures, but like we need to keep the business going, and that involves a lot of talking, a lot of ideas, a lot of hanging out together and collaborating.
Yeah.
Even if it's like we're at Applebee's eating. He hates Applebee's, by the way. But no, like little things like that. And I know his girlfriend one time was like, "Hey, do you guys ever argue or disagree on anything?" We're like, we compromise. It's not really a disagreement. And she's like, "No, I think you guys argue." And I'm like, "No, I'm like we don't really argue. Like you said, we don't really have the ego to be like back and forth. Like at the end of the day, this is gonna sink or swim with both of us. So
Ooh, I like
there's
that.
there's no
mindset.
point. Yeah, there's no
I like
point in
that
arguing."
mindset.
Well, and that's why I remember when I first brought it up to. So I mean, when we first brought up the idea to do the mini golf, I had to convince him because he didn't want to. Which I was kind of unsure, but it's because it's a crazy idea. So he didn't want to, and mainly because obviously like where are we gonna get the money? First of all, that's obviously the main thing. Is like where are you gonna, you know? So I was like, dude, whatever we gotta do, like we just gotta do it. Like now's the time to do it, you know. And I was telling him, I was like, dude, look, the reason why I feel comfortable going in, you know, business with you and, you know, my sister is because I know, like, you know, you guys are dogs. Like, you guys, like, I know, you know, he's not going to quit. Like, he'll outwork you if he has to. Like, he's not going to stop. You know, my sister, you know, she was the same way where she's like, you know, I don't care who you are. Like, I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to do, you know, work. And I'm the same way. Like, I hate losing. Like, I'm the worst loser. Like, you don't want to see me. And it's not even one of those, like, oh, Michael Jordan, like, you know, he lost. And, you know, like, I'm just like, I lost and I'm petty about it. Like, it's not even like a nice story. It's like, it's, you know, but I just don't like losing, you know, I don't like, you know, and I told him that was one of the first things we said. I was like, dude, like, I know you, you know me, we know, you know, my sister, we're not going to lose regardless of what we do. You know, we're not going to, you know, we're going to make it work whether we, you know, we die trying, but we're going to, you know, work it out. And, but that's the thing. Like, we've always been like competitive that way where, you know, I always want to win. And it's funny because, you know, my siblings, they could say stories or whatever about how much of a bad loser I was, but they were just like you hated losing, like you didn't want to lose, and it didn't even have to be even anything like special. It was literally just like a game of FIFA, dude. Now I would lose my mind, you know, like I can't believe I lost. And it's funny, my brother the other day was telling me, he's like, dude, he's like, I'm starting to think like the reason why you don't like video games, because I don't like video games. Because I suck.
I heard about that.
Because I suck. Because I never won, dude. And so I was the youngest of all my siblings, and so obviously, you know, they were better than me. But I just hated the fact that I was like, dude, I just don't know how to play this game, and I'm losing. And so I was like, you know what? I'd rather actually play real sports, and then that way at least I know how to like control the guy that's running around, you know?
Yeah.
I remember me too. Like, there's a dumb, funny story, I guess, that when I was like 4 or 5, my brothers. I have 3 older brothers, and actually we're the same age, obviously, but like our older brothers are actually the same age too, and they know of each other, so it's kind of cool.
They
But
met at Stevens too.
How old are you
yeah, they
guys?
met at Stevens too. Yeah.
29.
Okay.
Yeah, we're 29, and then obviously we have different siblings, but our oldest brother or older brothers are 40. Yeah, they're 40, and they met the same way, 6th grade at Stevens. But anyway,
Yep.
the competitiveness, right? So there's a TV. They had a Nintendo 64, and they didn't let me play. And I don't even remember the story, but supposedly my mom's like, yeah, like you grab the TV, you know, a big back.
Oh, I remember
Different
those.
big back kids, but no, you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about,
yeah.
right? So anyway, she said supposedly that they didn't let me play. That I got so mad that I grabbed the TV, like I hogged it, and was like, nope, if I'm not playing, then no one's playing. And I ended up dropping it on my foot, and like, yeah, she's like, yeah, your toe looked like a tomato. Obviously, it's fine now. No, but there's like a scar right now. But like, obviously, I was so young, I don't remember. But it was just one of those things. Like, we're both the youngest of our families, and we're so competitive because our brothers bullied us.
And I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes bullying does work.
Yeah,
You gotta watch what you
sometimes,
say.
yeah.
Maybe it comes from a friendly
Loving
place,
place,
from because even like I remember my brother, he was like, he just told. I mean, I don't remember it, but I guess he said growing up, he said I was growing up, I was as a kid, he said I was really cocky. Like, he's like, dude, you were so cocky. He's like, and for no reason you were cocky. He's like, so as an older brother, I had to humble you, and I would. He's like, I would do my best to humble you, and I'm like, damn, like you really did, you really did. But it's funny because when you remember like stuff when you were a kid, you don't remember it the same way how other people remember it. Because I don't remember being cut, but looking back, I was like, yeah, I probably definitely was. But he was just like, dude, I had to humble you. He's like, I had to find a way to humble you. He's like, because you were gonna, you know, I didn't like the person you were becoming. I was like 8.
I kind of see that in my little brother too, like the youngest one.
Yeah.
He'll go up to like adults and tell them to shut up, bro. He told Johnny, he's told him several times to shut up, and Johnny's not even talking. He's like, what? But he's only like
minding his
he's only like
business.
7.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he just walks around like he knows everything.
Yeah,
Man.
it's funny though. I mean, I guess you just go through because I remember even looking back when I was like 18. Like when you're 18 or you know out of high school, you think you know it all. Like you think you're never gonna die. You think like you know everything. You know the answer to everything. And then the older you get, you're like, what the hell was I
don't
thinking?
know
man?
anything.
You like I didn't know what I was talking about. I didn't even know myself, and I'm over here talking like I know what's going on.
Yeah, we're supposed to be married, not with each other, but we're supposed to both have families. And you're like, pause, hold on, we gotta scrap it.
It was like the last.
No, we're
the first.
No, we're each supposed to like have our own families, be married by 23, have 3 kids. Supposedly that's how we thought, right?
Yeah.
Like we have it ready to go, and like you turn 20, 21, right? And you're like, what the heck is going on? But I mean, and I know we'll probably get to it later, but like talking to our parents too, at least for me, they become more of my friends as we get older,
Right.
because it helps me at least cope with some of the things that they've done and gone through. And just have that relationship with them. Like no one's perfect. No one really has it figured out. No matter how old you are, obviously they have wisdom that you want to tap into, and other individuals do too, but not everyone's perfect. Not everyone has the right answer to everything. And that's kind of what, for better or worse, kind of fuels us too, or at least me, to keep on trying, because we're all figuring it out. No one's perfect. And I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't try, you're not gonna learn or know how to do it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's cool, man. I feel like our society nowadays kind of makes you want to turn away from your parents.
Yeah.
Like that's how kind of they want to set it up, but
no, they're your parents. Yeah, go ahead.
Being in a good relationship with your parents is super important for your well-being, and especially for you guys that have a business. For me, that I have a business, like it's important to be able to have a good relationship with those that care the most about you.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, I think especially with our parents. I mean, the older I get, the more I'm like, I realizing how much I'm becoming like them. I was like, growing up, I was like, man, I'm never gonna be like my dad. And then like growing up, I was like, oh shoot, I'm turning into my dad.
Yeah.
But you know, but even then, so like I said, he's you know he's old. He's 78. He's an older gentleman. But I've seen him like even at the age he is now, where he's even then he's still willing to like relearn some stuff that he learned as, you know, growing up. Because even like my elder siblings tell me, like, dude, my dad is not the same dad like you grew up with. So my dad, he's 78. So my oldest sister, she's in her 40s. So there's an age gap between us. So my siblings are like, the same dad you grew up with is not the same dad, we grew up with, and he's like changed a lot in his views and stuff like that. But I feel like it's just a testament of like us, like we can always, change and like, I guess reevaluate ourselves and be like, okay, this isn't working. Yeah. This is not who I have to be, I guess. I can go ahead and change. I can think, differently, act differently, and I don't have to like be the same always. And I guess that translates into business too, because sometimes you do have to like, pivot and be like, okay, well, this isn't working. This type of marketing isn't working. Let's do this, let's do that. But I feel like again that comes a lot from our parents, where they're, they didn't like try to get us to be like, oh, you have to go to school, you have to do this, you have to like, do the same thing every other, immigrant parents pretty much tells you to do, and I was lucky that my parents didn't really like force me into that, and were really supportive in everything that I've done. But yeah,
that's good, man. Yeah, the parent support is a big thing too. You would always want their approval, even though it's a little bit harsh sometimes. Being from like Hispanic background, is like they're a little bit harsh. They don't hold back sometimes, but
it's the first thing they mention after they haven't seen you in years is how fat you got. So that's how like
yeah.
For real.
Like, you guys have kids?
No kids.
No kids yet?
No, but no, like you were saying. So like with my dad, I remember when I first told him too, like. Because, he was like, hey, what they say about business is that you need at least a year or two of, of working and this and that. And, he's like, you shouldn't quit your job until you at least have, something, whatever, going into it. And so I told him, and I obviously I was in the same mindset. But then after a while, I thought about it. I was like, okay, like we're going to sign this lease. Renton's going to be due in a couple months. I know whatever money I make from my job, and even from all three of us, isn't going to be enough to pay for rent, So it's like either I go full time in this and do it, or we're going to be late on our rent, starting up. So I remember I told my dad, I was like, you know what, like, when we talked about it or whatever, but I was like, I think I'm just going to go ahead and, quit and go, straight into it. And then he's like, I don't know, that's a good idea, and so I started like kind of telling my reasoning, this because of this, and I can go and network and talk to people and do more stuff, as I start to get open. And he's like, you know what? He's like, that's actually a really good point. He's like, yeah. He's like, if you think that's what you're supposed to. And as soon as he said that, I was like, and this is a man that you cannot change his mind. You cannot change his mind from one moment to another. Maybe he'll change it over time. Maybe, but from one moment to another, if he believes what the truth is, like you cannot change him from that. So the moment where he was like, yeah. He's like, if you think that's a good idea, he's like, you should go ahead and do it. And that to me was like, all right, So the next, it was pretty much the next day I went in, I put in my 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm done. And yeah, and then that's when we started here, and but that's one of the things that did push me towards that. When my dad said that, because I honestly wasn't expecting it. I honestly thought I was gonna like, not that I wasn't gonna do it anyway, but it was one of those things that it really was like, okay, like you are doing the right thing. So
it's reaffirming for you. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Confirmation. Yeah.
Confirmation.
Confirmation from our fathers is huge.
Seek it every day, man.
I still haven't got it. Damn. I remember we met, and you went into the store. Did you guys go together? Or was it?
We went together.
I want to say
probably
you
went
like
after without me, but
I went the first time. Yeah. The first time I think it was just me. No, or you weren't.
I don't remember exactly.
No. It was us. I went in there one time and you weren't there. The second time it was with us. Yeah.
And then I think you followed up like just by yourself. That's what I kind of remember.
That's what it was then. That's what I'm remembering. Yeah.
So you guys walked in, and you guys as soon as you guys told me about the idea of tea time, I was like, that's a great idea, man.
Yeah.
I like that our Hispanic, Mexican, you guys are both Mexican, right?
Yeah.
Mexican background is doing things in the community.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, no, it's different. I mean, because I know, that's not, I guess Mexicans in golf, which now is becoming more popular,
It is, for sure.
But yeah, that was something that was for sure was different. And, but no, I do remember, walking in, and we're just like, dude, like, I mean, obviously we didn't know you. So we're like, oh, we're looking for Mr. Juanito himself.
Yeah.
Well, I saw you putting on the gloves, like getting ready, like to get the meat. And I was like,
we're not here for meat.
Ironically. But we didn't. I think we ended up eating after, though, outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or no, that was after we filmed. That was after we filmed
the video.
Yeah, that was after we
filmed
it.
Oh, yeah, we did some content.
Yeah. The first one we did here. But yeah, I mean, we just went in there, and we were just like, dude, like, listening, you're like, oh no, my name's so sad. I was like, oh. I was like,
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Well, no, it's funny, dude, because like even now, right before we go network or talk to someone that we want to do a collaboration with or anything, right? We'll like sit in the car and be like, so what are you gonna say? And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I don't mind looking dumb. I'm not gonna say anything off the wall, but like I don't mind looking dumb and like getting a no from someone or I'm not interested. But like he's like, so what are you gonna say? I was like, dude, I was like, I think I said something. I think I did say something dumb to him. I was like, dude, I'm just gonna say this. He's like, no. I was like, who cares? I was like, he's not. I was like, he might not even be here. Whatever. Let's just go in there.
He might not even be here.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So when you were there, and I was like, well, anyway. But yeah.
Nah, I don't. Yeah, that's crazy how that goes through our minds, like
Yeah.
just kind of trying to set us back, but you just got to get into it.
You just got to do it. Well, even then, I mean, yeah, because I didn't know how you were going to react. You'd be like, dude, no, I don't want to work with you guys. But no, dude, you were super nice. And I was like, dude, that was a lot easier than what I thought. And the fact that you're like, dude, yeah, we'll do a video. And I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy that you said yes right away.
Well, because we talked about it, and I think at the time you went from like 19,000 to like 30K. And you were telling us like your numbers, like, yeah, dude, I just post every day and this and that. And we're like, dude, this guy's not gonna want to shoot a video with us. We have like 30 followers. Like, this guy doesn't care.
I think we had just started our account, on social media around that time.
You're like your own worst critic, right? Anytime you're thinking about doing
sure.
something, you're always your own worst critic. And even like asking other people for collaborations, it's like you grow up. And whether it's our parents or the media, whatever you want to call it, no conspiracy theories, but like you're conditioned to be like, well, ask permission, and you want to be polite, but you're also conditioned to like, am I even allowed in that space to ask those questions or to be in the same circles? And I get I get nervous still to this day, but I used to get a lot nervous and like even avoid being in certain places or talking to certain people because I'm like, I shouldn't be there with them. But now I'm just like, it is what it is.
What is it called? The
imposter syndrome.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, no one gets rid of it. I like to see videos and stuff. People are like, oh yeah, I used to have enough. Everyone has it. Everyone has it. But
yeah,
you just learn how to mute it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the more that you like stand behind your brand, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
That you're like, I did this. Like, the more you get into that role of like, I can sit down with these people.
Yeah.
And like, I can have a conversation and they can get value from me as well because I've built this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of how I view it. And going back to like the content thing, one of the reasons that I wanted to grow my page too was to help other businesses too.
That's awesome.
So they could see the impact too.
Yeah.
It was like, obviously, like it was mostly like about Juanitos, but I also wanted to share it. Like, I made this discovery, like I want to share it with people.
Yeah, that's so sick, dude.
And so like whenever people want to talk about content, like how did you do it? Like, obviously, like I have people that help me, like Johnny and Luciano has helped me a lot. Even Priscilla here recently.
Yeah.
I like to share everything that I've learned. I think that's the biggest thing that we can pass down to people is like just keep sharing.
Yeah,
You know?
no. I mean, and it shows. I'm telling you, because you were on it. You were like, dude, yeah, let's shoot a video. Let's do this. And I know when we got back in our car, and I was like, damn, like he's really willing, like he's really, and you're like, all right, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
But no, like that's awesome because I mean, we're the same way. Like people will ask us questions like, hey, I want to, I'm thinking about doing this. Like, what are you guys? And to be honest with you, sometimes I mean, advice is hard to give because it's not a one, you can't just give one answer and for it to apply, but you can give your own experience, which oftentimes is a lot. Like just talking about what you went through helps out, a ton. And the fact that, again, like I said, it meant a lot when you were like so willing to help us out and then so willing to let us just like pick your brain, which, it seems simple to just go ahead and just like, oh yeah, just go ahead and post. Like, yeah, just do that, but it's not like sometimes you really have, somebody has to tell you like, no, like just post it, because even you were saying like, he's like, not all the videos are gonna hit, some are gonna do better than others, and you just got to really like let that sink in.
Just
like,
do it,
yeah, it's gonna happen. And so I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, you just can't let that fear like hold you back even from that, because like I said, as soon as we started posting more like on TikTok, on Instagram, like it's translated into more people coming in.
Yeah.
And then one thing that you said, he's like, after a while, people just want to come in just because they saw the video, like just for the experience, just because they want to be a part of something. And I was like, that makes so much sense. It makes so much sense, because why do people even go to, to what's it called?
Don't say it. Nah, I'm just kidding.
I don't even know what I was gonna say. No, the
certain-
Grand Canyon. You know,
Exactly.
like why do they? There's nothing really to other than
wanna
just for
capture
the
the
experience
moment,
because
yeah.
of what. So I was like, that makes so much sense. Like you want to create that excitement of people want to go just because
Of that,
just
yeah.
because they go, just because of the pictures, just because of the experience or whatever. But I was like that opened up my eyes a lot to that. But yeah,
And we're so lucky and blessed to grow up in a time where we have that social media tool.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine like any of our businesses would have struggled a little bit longer
yep.
than what they have been right now. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I got that leap forward from social media, and I'm sure you guys have gotten it too.
It's helped, yeah.
From what my dad talks about, like it took like a good 3 years to really like be able to get your business out there, because
Yeah.
people have to pass by
And see it.
like, because he's been in the business for like 25 years.
Wow.
And so like 20 years ago, like there was no such thing as Instagram. I think it wasn't even invented yet.
The phone book,
So-
the phone book is all you really
or
got.
like
yeah.
TikTok. Well, I mean that was probably like what, like 5-6 years ago, or
Around
I don't
there,
know
yeah,
how
yeah,
long
yeah.
it's been. But all these platforms, they make a big difference in the business world for sure.
Yeah, no, I was telling Carlitos, who's doing our mural, we were talking about it, and he was saying that one of his first jobs, he was at the flea market. And I was like, now that I think about it, I was like, I'm pretty sure I've probably met you before. But he was talking about how he started doing the airbrushing on the shirts. And he's like, I was one of the first ones that was out there doing it.
Really?
Yeah. And he's like, I was 13, 14 years old doing it. And he's like, dude, I would have a line of people just like wanting to get the shirt, of this little kid that was doing the shirts. And I was like, dude, imagine if you had like TikTok back then.
Dude.
Like that, you would have gone crazy, And he's like,
Millions
yeah,
of
he's like, yeah, but he's like, people would go just because, they would see my work, and it was good work, obviously he's an artist, but he's like, people would go and they would see that. And he's like, I would have a line of people just waiting and telling me what they wanted. But I was like, dude, if you had TikTok or social media back then, like that would have gone crazy,
Viral. Yeah. Easily.
Yeah, but it's like like you're saying, it's a blessing to have like social media, because it truly is like that people that you otherwise would have never been able to talk to, see your stuff and interact with you, and it's cool. It's a really cool tool to use, I guess, for business.
Yeah. It also opens up doors that you would have never imagined, right? Like the networking aspect and stuff like that. I think that's really cool.
Well, and I know for you probably have like a ton of like big businesses reaching out to you,
Yeah,
like
thank God,
wanting
yeah.
to work with you, and
Yeah.
I mean, and isn't that, I mean, how's that feel?
It's I get imposter syndrome all the time. I get it all the time. I'm like, dude, like I'm only 24.
That's
like,
crazy.
But
Yeah.
then I like think about like, but you are a butcher that's killing the game. I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah,
at the end of the day, like I do take that role on. You know, like you envisioned it, and like you got the gift from God. Like He gave it to you, and so like just take that role on is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But right now, more than ever, I think I've kind of stepped back a little bit from like the business,
Okay.
and like viewing it as like I gotta be here all the time,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that, and starting to like kind of grow my team, so I can get ready to open up another
expand,
location. And so
I remember one of those first videos that, well, not first, but like when we started talking to you, I think I commented on one of them. So you're like, oh, where should my next location be? Spokane, or I think somewhere near Tacoma or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dude, this guy's going to go crazy in Tacoma or somewhere over there. And I was like, yeah, Tacoma, dude, do it. But I don't know where you're at with that. But still, I was just like, I was like, dude, this guy's business is dope. Because I know one of your first viral videos was a guy from like the Seattle area that came over, and then we're like, dude, how do you do that? You're like, it's a little weird, but you just kind of like ask them before after they come in, like, hey, do you want to do a video with me? Yeah, it's cool. And then it's like, but it looks so, it doesn't look like it's
looks
staged
so
or
natural.
anything.
It looks so natural,
when
yeah.
you do it. So
And yeah, that's what another thing that I would like to highlight too is like everything that day. I think he was from Seebeck.
there you go.
And we were shooting with Luciano, and the timing of him getting there when we were already
That's what you're
shooting,
saying, yeah.
like
That's crazy.
it was like if he was like God sent.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And that video honestly, like
Blew up.
that video blew up like crazy. It has
did.
like over 20 million views on all
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah.
On all platforms, YouTube, Instagram,
That's insane.
TikTok, like almost like 20 million views, and that like really put us on the map of like Washington.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, because there's only 350,000 people here in Tri-Cities, and I don't know how many in the state, but
Yeah.
I feel like that video really like made people like kind of hype up Juanitos around in the Seattle area for sure. Like, oh, dude, like I gotta go to Tri-Cities and
That's
visit
crazy.
this meat market. And so it was a crazy feeling. And
So
then,
go ahead.
And then the people like walking in and they're like, "Oh, you're the guy from the videos," like that. That was crazy, dude. Like I'm talking like tens of 20 people like every single day. Like, hey, dude, like you're killing it. Like I see
That's
you.
so
I'm from
crazy.
Seattle, dude, and I drove like 4 hours to come here and buy meat. Like that's a crazy feeling for sure.
And then,
What were
I
you
mean,
gonna
does
say?
it ever cross your mind, like, which video was it? Did you see
Sometimes I ask them.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, sometimes
I'm
I
too
ask them
scared.
like,
I'm
which
dude,
one
I
did
don't
you
wanna know.
watch?
Don't even tell me.
Because
I was like, I don't know.
a little bit cringy. Yeah, I'm not really afraid of that anymore.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't mind being cringy anymore. Like I don't mind looking bad in certain videos. But then again, it's been like 4 years of content creation. You know, like
That's
it gets to a
crazy.
certain point. But
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, I have my niece. I have family in California. I have a brother out there, and my niece, she recently came up here for school, and I told her, I think it was the first one we were gonna do, the first video. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do. I was telling my brother, who obviously my family knows about you guys, but she's like, that sounds familiar, and I was like, oh, it's like a meat market, this and that, and she's like, I feel like I've heard of them, and I'm like in LA or she's like somewhere, I don't know. So she messes my nephew, her brother, and I guess like they went back in like months ago, like months before we even collaborated. They're like, oh, we should go there next time we go visit our family in Tri-Cities or whatever. We should go to Juanitos, and they were all the way in LA, and they saw that video, which is that's what I'm saying. It's crazy, like the fact that honestly. And it's crazy how that works, because honestly, I didn't really know about it. Before I guess I really started with Tea Time.
No, that makes sense.
But he knew about it way before. He knew about it. When was it? Honestly, when we first opened, I think. No, even before that. Anyway, the point is that's the outreach that you've got into it, and it's, I'm sure it's a crazy feeling. Like for us, it's crazy when people are like, yeah, we're here from Yakima, right? Like that's crazy. But I mean,
is already crazy, bro.
That's no, and it's a
crazy.
good feeling. It's a good feeling. But I mean, the fact that there's like people, and I know you said like Texas, that have stopped by because they heard about you, and that's like another level.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait
It's
till
definitely a good feeling.
people
for
are
sure.
taking planes out here to play.
Yeah. Planes. Hey man, I see it happening.
I mean,
for sure.
maybe when we expand.
I think the craziest part about that though is like, I would tell my cashier and one of my butchers. So when I first started Juanitos right here on Clearwater, I had one butcher and it was just me and him. That's it.
Dang.
And I would talk to him, dude. Like I would just tell him like, hey man, like soon enough, there's gonna be people that are gonna be driving 2, 3, 4 hours for this meat.
That's awesome.
They're gonna be driving to see that logo in person.
Wow.
I would tell him. I would tell my cashier too, and everybody that I would hire on. I eventually stopped doing it, but everybody that I would hire on.
Yeah, guys, gotta let you know. Before we orientation.
Everybody, the very first.
Everybody that I would hire on, I would be like, hey man, like, people are gonna drive for this.
And it goes experience. Back to like you're trying to express that to your employees too. Like, hey, I this is my vision. I want you to start seeing it too, because if I'm not here, I want you to have the same passion that I do. And it will never be the same, but still, like, just sharing your vision with them, I'm sure it's done wonders for them.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome, dude. Yeah. That is because you're just saying it, and you're believing it, right? But at the same time, like I can't remember his name. Who you just did the podcast with.
Abel.
It's AA Roofing.
Oh, Noe.
He was Italian. He's like, and it's like that. You have to be a little bit crazy, like to because I'm sure even as you said that, like you believed it, but there was still some kind of is that actually going to happen? But you have to, if it's not you, then who? You gotta believe it yourself first. But yeah, you have to be a little bit crazy and a little like, I guess ignorant, I guess, in your own power, I guess.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It is. I feel like faith kind of comes back into that too, because crazy and faith, I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand.
It's right there. It's right there. Well, I mean, it's faith. I mean, you have to believe it before you see it. I mean, that's what faith is. That's what faith is.
Exactly.
You know, you gotta believe it. You gotta see it, and you know, you gotta believe that it's there. You know, I remember, you know, even telling him when we were slow, you know, we were like, dude, it's only a matter of time before, you know, people start coming. Like, it's only a matter of time. Like, it's I don't know what it is, but something's gonna tick, and you know, we're gonna have people that are gonna come in, you know, more often than not, you know, and we're just like, we gotta believe it, you know, we gotta believe it, and again, you know, it was something that we would always say to each other too, or he would say, God brought us this far, you know, he brought us this far, brought us here for a reason, you know, we made it this far, we got the building, we secured the building, we secured the funds, he brought us here.
That was the hardest part, dude.
Yeah,
That was probably the hardest part.
Thankfully, we were used to getting rejected in high school growing up, dude. 'Cause, man, it made it easier getting rejected by them for sure. Like, dude, the amount of emails, the amount of calls, the amount of, oh yeah, I'll call you back. Like, dude, he said he'll call us back. All right, cool. Like, honestly, we'll go back a little bit, but like, we didn't want this spot. Like, our realtor, Karen, she was like, no, she's like, I don't want to show you this, but I have a legal obligation to show you this building, but I don't want to show you this
because it was run down. It was a nasty building.
So it was a lot of things before it was an indoor goat cart place. So a lot of dirt, right? But before it was tea time, it was an indoor goat cart place, and she's like, well, I got to show you. And the walls were like nasty blue, dirt everywhere on the floor, like they were scraping up the tile. Yeah,
that place. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, so the go kart.
And he came here too, but
Oh, really?
dude, so yeah, anyway, she was like, I have to show you this place, and it's just my legal obligation. And he had told his sister, the other owner's like, hey, don't even waste your time, because we're going to say no, but we have to go. And I remember too, because I was coming off of work. He's like, yeah, dude, it's at 5:30. I was like, oh, got to go waste my time, right? But anyway, the fact that she brought us here, and we're just like, all right, cool. We looked around, and she's like, hey, I can probably negotiate some things with the lease, this and that. We're like, oh, you're saving us money. Okay, maybe we do start seeing the vision here, right? So after that meeting, he's like, hey, actually, you probably do want to come, because we're actually thinking about having this spot. But again, the amount of times that we've been told no, and just keeping that faith in God and the plan that he has for us has been immense. Yeah.
And even more confirmation too is like, I think I've seen 3 different businesses before you guys in this same spot. And the fact that it's working out for you guys,
yeah, that's
what more do you need?
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Because I've seen 3. I think around 3. There was even a carniceria here.
Oh yeah,
bro.
yeah.
There was a carniceria here before, and so I would always tell my dad, like, I wonder why nobody works out there. And then when you guys, I was like, dude,
Like,
I know these guys
not
are
there. Don't go in there.
no, I didn't say that. I right away thought like, no, I think it could work.
Yeah,
you know. And I saw the same thing that you guys had, that I had at the beginning, you know, and I still have, but that like a little bit of crazy, you know, faith as well. Like, hey man, like I have this idea and I know it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
And to see it through, like, is a big thing.
Yeah, I remember that December, we like every corner, I brought like holy water, and we brought our girlfriends, and we're just like, all right, let's go pray. Let's go say a prayer in every corner, like, and just leave it in God's hand. And ever since that, or not, way before that, like we always put our trust in God and his plan.
That's good, man.
We're blessed. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because like you know, you've thought you thought of stuff and you've visioned it, but then when you actually see it and you see it, you know, and then you hear God like, you know, telling you like, see what I did, like, you know, all that doubt and all that hard work that you put into, you know, like this is what I can do. And it's a beautiful feeling because you know, you genuinely don't deserve it. You know, you don't deserve any of it.
Exactly.
You know, and you don't, like, you literally don't deserve any of it. Yet he's just like, there you go. You know, all this is for you. You know, and you can handle it. So, you know, you can take it, you know. But at the same time, it's, you know, it's not one of those things too where it's like you're just sitting there and it happens. You know, you obviously have to put in the groundwork. You have to put in work. You have to, you know, blood, sweat, and tears. But at the same time, it's like you see that it's working out. You see that God is there, you know, at every corner of the way, and it's an awesome feeling, you know.
For sure, that's a beautiful thing. I think him proving to you that on Earth he can give you things is like the biggest thing ever. It's like, dang, like my God really gifted me with these gifts, and then gives me my own business, and then gives me all these people to surround myself with, a community, and like, man,
dude, and
huge.
I mean, speaking of the community too. Go ahead, you gonna say something?
No?
Oh,
See, I told you we can't finish each other's sentences.
we start each other's sentences when we do.
Go ahead.
No, speaking of the community has been awesome, man. The fact that you know, there's times where I was talking to somebody, I was telling them that sometimes like business owners get a bad reputation, you know, like being like greedy and like, you know, stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, like throughout this whole process, I've honestly found the contrary with you know, all of them that I've met. They've been so like helpful, so like, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, hey, you need somebody to help you with this, you know, reach out to so and so or whatever, you know, like always there, like trying to help out, you know. And it's as simple as, honestly, you just gotta ask, you know, because then if you don't ask, you never know. Exactly. You know, the same way we just went in and just asked, you know, if you wanted to do a video at you know, when we walked into your place. But I feel like that's really one thing that this community really has shown us, that they're always willing to help. Like always, like you just ask and they're like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Like, you know, how can we help each other? What can we do? And I feel like that's a lot of times what people like are afraid to even ask, even just because they're afraid of the rejection or afraid that they're gonna say no. But I've found most of the times, if not all, the answer has always been yes. Like, yeah, I'll help you out, or what do you need? We can do something or whatever. But that's also been awesome to really see the community, you know, come out and help.
It's kind of like being in a classroom and like, you don't want to be the kid in the back. You want to be the kid in the front. Yeah. Because the kid in the front, like when they raise their hand, the teacher's probably going to pick you first. Yeah. Because whenever you have a question, and then whenever somebody's in front and another student is presenting something, you're learning from them a little bit more because you're closer to them. So it's like, would you rather be in the back, or you want to be in the front asking all the questions and like learning from all the people like right there hand in hand? Yeah. You know?
No, that's true. That's so true. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, you can learn something from someone, like, at any moment. Like, you can talk to somebody, a common conversation, and you can pick something up and be like, you know, that works a lot. I mean, I'm telling you, like, when we first met, you were telling me about that social media stuff. It's such a common thing that you would think, oh yeah, it's social media, it can help you out. But you know, the way that you know that you said it, and it's like, yeah, it's simple. You just gotta do it. That's the hardest part, is just doing it. You know. And I was like, okay, like that makes a lot of sense. You know, maybe to you it didn't mean much. It was just like whatever. But you know, I took that and I was like, let's you know, let's start doing that. Like that. What's the worst that can happen? You know.
No, yeah.
But
it did mean a lot to me that you guys being a little bit older than me, not that much, but like a little bit older than me, asking me, you know.
Ouch, bro.
Like,
ouch.
I didn't mean it like that. I'm just kidding, pushing 30, by the way.
My knees hurt.
Oh, dude.
Can we take a time out? My knees hurt. My back hurts. I'm done.
Where's the water break at?
I'm tired.
No, yeah, it meant a lot. It means a lot. It's to me that people ask me questions. Yeah. Because I'm always ready to share.
That's
I'm
awesome.
never just like, get out of here. You
know?
Yeah. I never think like that. Like, I'm always like, no, let's talk about it, you know? Let's make time for this. Like, let's go so grab some lunch and talk about business. Let's talk about faith. Let's talk about all these things. And that's why we started the podcast.
That's awesome.
Because I love talking about business. I love talking about, man, what were you thinking when you first started? Yeah. Do you think your vision is from God? Do you think you guys are walking hand in hand? Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the way that you mature with him. Yeah. With your people, with your relationship, with your community. Like, let's talk about that. All those things. That's exactly why we started the podcast.
That's sick. That's
sick. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, the fact that you started the podcast is awesome, because like you get to talk to people, really pick their brains and talk to, you know, about their experience of how everything was. But I guess when you started your business, I know that you were saying that your dad was kind of questioning on the Wagyu and all that, and the prime meat. Well, where did you start looking like to buy like the meats, or where'd you even?
Like, who helped you too in that?
Man,
in that
I haven't thought about that question in a while.
I thought about it all night.
Hold on, let me think about it.
Which one am I gonna get him?
How are you gonna stump him?
So how I got introduced to it was through social media. And so then I would reach out to other meat markets in California and New York, and anybody that would answer my questions, I would be so grateful for. Like, man, like I'm just a nobody
Yeah.
to you, and then a whole nother state, and you're like answering my questions, and you're like, oh, I get it
Wow.
from this guy, and they were passing on contacts, and so like every little thing that I would like learn and I would tell my dad about,
Mm-hmm.
it was like confirmation for me that I had to be doing that. You
That's
know, like,
awesome.
ask those questions. Be that kid in the front of the class.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Be curious.
Ready
yeah.
to learn, curious. Never let that die out. Never
Yeah.
let that flame die out in you. And so like I would just ask, and I got like right now I have like 3 or 4 different contacts that I can get Wagyu from, and so that's why we always have a good price too. And I feel like we make it pretty readily available. Like if you guys want to try Wagyu,
Yeah.
like you guys can go and try
Yeah,
it.
I think we might.
And it is a little bit more expensive. It's always going to be a little bit more
Yeah, yeah.
expensive than regular meat, even though our regular meat is really good. You
Yeah.
know? I'm not trying to like push Wagyu on
Push
everybody.
it. Wagyu. Bonitos.
Yeah, thank you,
You
man.
gotta push it, dude.
But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into contact with where we get it from, and so like they import it to LA. They import it to LA from China, from Australia, different parts, and then there's American Wagyu, so there's locally sourced Wagyu too.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
the crossbreeds. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that's interesting because if nobody else is doing it, and then you've got to find who's doing it. So then, what did they say when you reached out to them?
I mean, some people didn't answer, just like anything.
as you
And
would
then,
expect. Yeah.
Some people didn't answer. Actually, a lot of people didn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just so persistent, and some people were like trying to kind of benefit from my curiosity too. There's always gonna be like
Really?
from like they're
Oh, I
trying to
bet.
like instead of giving me their contact, like they were like, oh, I can sell it to you.
Oh,
and like it's like
little
a
off the
more of a
top.
retail price and a wholesale
Yeah.
price because I was looking for a wholesale distributor.
Yeah,
not for
right.
like another meat market
Yeah.
to sell it to me, you know. But I mean, that's exactly why I love and cherish my dad too, because he was always willing to be that mentor, and he never pushed the business or anything like that on me. Like he was always like, I want you to go to school, or if you don't want to go to school, like you can be an electrician or whatever
Yeah.
it may be. But he was never like, oh, you got to be a butcher, or you got to own your own store or whatever, like, or you got to take over the family business. Like he was never like that.
That's awesome.
He always just supported me in whatever I wanted to do, and that's love right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. No, yeah, because I know you said in another podcast, that you never saw yourself being a butcher.
Yeah.
That wasn't your plan. Well, so what did you want to do instead? Or I guess what did you see yourself doing?
I always describe myself, like my younger self, as like a guy that kind of ran away from what he's supposed to be doing.
Oh shoot.
How so?
I always describe myself as that, like somebody that's kind of like going against what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I kind of just, right now, I kind of just picture myself like getting in a tube and like going with the current now.
Okay.
Like see where
okay.
that takes me. But
Yeah.
I've always been like that guy that's like, oh, my parents want me to do this, I'm gonna go over here. Like they want me to go this way, I want to go this way. Like
Yeah.
for some reason, like that's just my character. That's how I was born.
But growing up, were you like rebellious? Like you don't have to get too deep into like
not
what
like
you did,
a
but
super
yeah.
bad kid, never. Like not from what my parents say. Like they say like I've always been a good kid, but for some reason like I've always liked to like stray away like
Go
from
against the
what they're
current.
go against the current.
Yeah.
And right now like I'm like trying to humble myself and let go of that pride and ego and just like kind of just go with the current. Like,
Yeah.
go
No,
with
that's
the flow.
good, man.
You know.
That's good.
And I think that's how I've been going about my life for like the last 2 years, because starting a business will humble you as well,
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
because it is a slow burn.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's that
I mean,
slow burn.
No pun intended, dude.
People don't see. I watched this YouTube videos. There's this. It was this kid. He was just like oh yeah, I'm gonna do a yard sale, and I'm gonna sell whatever stuff. Oh, because he bought like one of those wholesale crates or whatever from Amazon where they have a whole bunch of. I'm gonna sell this. I'm gonna make so much money. This and that. And so he went. He put on the yard sale or whatever, and he was open for business, and nobody came all day. And I was like, and he was like disappointed, because nobody came. But it was like, that's crazy how much business is like that, where it's like you put all this work and you're so excited and you're like, oh, as soon as I turn on the open sign, people are just gonna flood in, and then you open up and it's like there's no one out there. Like nobody comes in. Like sometimes, it's like, takes time before anybody even walks in through the door or whatever. But it's just, you just got to be patient and consistent that, sooner or later it's going to,
Exactly.
it's going to catch fire, that slow burn is going to turn into, a bigger fire. But I was like, that's so interesting how I feel like obviously you have to have that mindset that your business is going to be successful, but that you think like, well, as soon as I open up, it's like game over. Like people are just going to like rush in through the door. I'm going to be like, have to count it one by one, like slow down,
Slow down,
and
everybody.
I'm just out there like, dude, I'll give it to you for free. Just come inside.
So
Just come experience this.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's how I wanted to. Yeah, sometimes man, we were so slow. Like I wanted to stand outside on Clearwater and hold up a sign. Like,
sign?
come inside. Like come and talk to me. Like I promise. Like you won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
hey,
yeah.
you. Come and talk to me. Like, no, dude. And so, like, we kind of talked about, like, you opening up the business, the struggles of it. I know you guys added a restaurant. Where do you see Juanito's going in the next, not next 5 years, but just, like, what's next for you guys? Or at
Right
least your
now-
vision.
Right now, I just really feel like we're gonna open up another one. Like
Yeah.
we don't know exactly where, but right now I have that feeling that we're gonna open up another one, and that Juanito's is gonna be
Even bigger and
even
better.
bigger. Even bigger. Be able to impact more people's lives.
Yeah.
So people have a good time with their family at a carne asada, and
Dude,
that's the
that's
biggest
awesome.
thing.
Yeah, especially
But-
in our culture, man.
Yeah. But we got to go step by step right now. We got to make content for the restaurant. We're just waiting on the menus, but we got to make content for the restaurant and let that start
Dude, that's awesome.
getting their clientele too, because that's a whole nother business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
A lot of people don't see it that way, but
Yeah,
I
I haven't been in there since, because have you opened it yet?
yeah, it's open.
It's open.
Yeah.
And it's connected, no? Or is there a separate?
Yeah, it's connected.
It's connected. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, because I remember one of the last times I went, you guys were still working on it, and you guys had it cut off. How's that going?
It's going good.
Yeah.
Right now it's it's February. We're about to be in March, but starting a business in February is never, but
No, that's tough.
we're a big believer in like God's timing
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well, so like it was ready to start up in February, so we just like let's
Just
do
did
it.
it. Yeah.
Let's do everything we can to get this going, and already we're seeing a little bit of results of like the add-on. We're adding more shelves too, so it can be more.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that you guys went to Seattle, right, or
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Dude, where are you gonna put that?
Dude, I don't even know, bro. We're selling some. I don't know if you guys need some, but
Shoot, we might, dude. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Did you see it?
No, we'll go after.
No, I don't know I don't know where they have it.
right there at the store.
You took everything there?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. It
Dude,
was like a place like big as this, no, with a whole bunch of shelves and stuff.
Yeah, it was actually around this size.
You didn't go to IKEA. You went
Dude,
to like a warehouse.
it was a lot of work, man.
I believe it, dude.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
getting some of these arcade games. Why am I forgetting the name of it?
Basketball?
No,
Where
the
did
darts.
you guys get them from?
Well, the newer ones are from China, but like the dart, dude. We went to Spokane and like it was so sketchy because this was like, yeah, we got to go here, and I'm a little familiar with Spokane, but like there's a lot of like country roads and like trees and stuff, and like it's like, yeah, we got to go here, and like message the person, we park, and she finally gets there, and it's like this like little lady. She's like, oh yeah, it's my dad's warehouse, blah blah blah. I was like, cool. Well, we'll go in there. There's so many games, but just like it's just one of those things, dude. Like when you're buying stuff, it's just like you don't know where you're gonna expect, and once you're there, you're like,
Yeah,
I wish I had
kinda.
more money to
Yeah.
buy what I
Invest.
really want. Yeah. Sorry.
No,
Sidebar.
you're good. You're good. Oh yeah. Oh, where did you guys get like those games too? Is it from China?
The
Yeah, so we worked with his name is Joe Thielen. He has iPhone Boulevard, and he helped us out like getting in contact with people in China or whatever. Or I guess he did it. That's actually where we got the TV too, from him. So we just ordered it through him, and then we just bring them in, and I mean they've been there, but yeah, because at first when we first started, we were renting them, releasing them. I guess we were splitting with the owner of the games. But then after a while, we're like, dude, you know what? Like, we just got to get our own. Like, you just bite the bullet and get it, because at the end, it's gonna pay off, and everything's gonna stay here.
Of course.
You know. But they can get pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
And one of the coolest things about your guys' spot is that everything's like custom made, and you guys like kind of, you guys kind of designed all these, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys have somebody to put them together.
That's kind of the approach we took. That's the other thing we stuck to and have been sticking to. I mean, yeah, we buy like these from Amazon, some chairs from Amazon, but I'd say 90% of the business is like local people. Like Jesse's Lawn help with installing the actual course and the bricks.
Nice.
And then they're like the guy that makes our holes. Is it JLD Customs?
JLD, Joser.
Joser. We actually went to high school with his brother, but we never knew that he did custom stuff like this. And we finally asked him, like, hey, can you do one hole? And then one hole turned into 6 holes now. But he does it. And just every other thing that you can see in here is like we collaborated with the local business because that's what we want to see. It's kind of the same reason, right, you did with us is because we want to see other businesses grow in the Tri-Cities. And having that scarcity mindset isn't going to help anyone. And at the end of the day, just helping each other out is what really matters.
Yeah, like the bar, we took the idea from Wheathead.
Yeah, thank you, Wheathead.
We talked to Tina, and we're like, hey, we like your bar, you know. So she like, you know, told us like, oh, it's like this, and this, and we told our guy that was helping us to help us do it. We were gonna do it exactly the same how they had it with like the like cement finish, but then we saw how the wood looked, and we're like, we're just gonna keep the wood, but like the design of how she had it, like we're like, dude, that's exactly how we want our bar. But yeah, like. Everything pretty much we collaborated with local businesses that were like, you know, we want to like from our sign, from the decals on the walls to the mural that we're putting up. You know, we're like, we want to keep it local and give back to, you know, the same people that, you know, have given to us, you know, for all these years. So it's awesome to, you know, to be in that position where we can be like, hey, can you help us out? Or, you know, can we work with each other? So it's an awesome feeling for sure.
You guys grew up right here in Tri-Cities?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pasco, yeah. Born
Dude,
and
how
raised.
cool would it have been for you guys to like grow up and go to like a spot like this?
Dude.
You know, and for you guys to provide that for the generation coming up, and obviously like adults come here too and they can have fun. But you know, like what a cool thing for
Dude, I would have loved this
people
place
growing up
if I was a kid, when I was younger.
Yeah.
Just because when you were, I mean, where'd you grow up here? Or?
I grew up first 13 years of my life in Yakima.
Yakima, okay.
Yeah, and then I moved over here.
So I guess, I mean, here even now, I guess there's not much to do, but
Yeah.
when we were kids, I mean, the only thing to do was either just to drive around all night, and then
Go to Walmart?
go to Walmart, go to Walmart, or go to Wingstop or whatever. But there was like nothing to do, and then everything closed like at 8 or 9, and everything was closed. You know, so it's like, you know, luckily we were never into doing anything bad or whatever. But I wasn't. Nah, I'm just kidding. No, but we never did anything crazy, you know. So we're like, okay, well, now that we have something like this, where we have like schools reaching out to us that they want to, you know, bring their kids in, or churches, you know, work events or whatever, that they want to come here and, you know, hang out here. That's like so awesome. Like that's such an awesome feeling, you know, that people want to come here and spend time. And like I said, if I was younger, honestly, I would be here. I mean, shoot, I'm here all the time myself, but even now. But if I was a kid, I would like to, you know, come to a place like this because there's just so much to do, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's an awesome feeling to have people want to come in here and spend their time.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. The other things that like we try to do for the community that are free, like the Reading Foundation, we had them in June. So like a month after we opened, we're like, should we really close down for them? Like, we need to make money. But we didn't charge them, right? And like later on in September, October, the Pasco High football team reached out to us and like, hey, can we bring them there? We want to have a team bonding day. Like, all right, we both went to Pasco High. We're not going to charge you guys. And then the lady put us on the spot. She's like, well, you're going to talk to them and tell them how you started this business because they look up to you. And we're like, sure, like we'll do it. But it was humbling too because 10 years ago, and I know it's freaking old, but 10 years ago, it's like, we're in their shoes playing football, right? And it's just for someone to hear, or so they can physically see someone like, oh yeah, you really are the same person just 10 years ago. You could do it if you put your mind to something. It doesn't have to be mini golf, but whatever, right? But yeah, it was humbling for sure.
No, yeah, it's awesome. I mean, especially just because one of the first ideas me and this guy had, we always wanted to start a business ever since we were, you know, in school together. But one of the very first things was we wanted to do a clothing brand. But that was like, I want to say we were ahead of our time because I feel like that wasn't really a thing. Like back,
Gymshark, Awfully, they would have been crushed, dude. For real, we would have done something great.
but we didn't.
But we
Hey,
did.
at least the plans left the group chat.
Exactly.
You guys ended up,
This
yeah.
one did. But we did that one, and then we wanted to do like a gym. We wanted to do a gym where it was like, oh, we can talk to like the youth and like really like, you know, kind of empower them and this and that. And obviously we didn't do that either. But the fact that like now we're in the position where we can, you know, talk to the youth and empower them and you know, and you know, help, you know, in some way, or even the community in general. Like that's such an awesome feeling. Just because, you know, even when you're younger, you're like, man, I would like to do something, but I don't know what I could do. Like, what can I do to help out the community? Or like, there's not much I can do, you know. But now it's like we have foundations or charities that are reaching out to us, and it's like that's so awesome. Like that's so cool that we're in that position where we can give back and, you know, help change somebody's life or, you know, whatever the case is. But that's such a like fulfilling feeling, you know, to have, you know. But yeah.
I feel like that's the definition of fulfillment.
Yeah.
You know, for people to reach out like that and to look to you guys.
Yeah.
There's something that you guys have that attracts that.
Yeah.
Which is good, you know?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's awesome that people do that. And, you know, they thank us. They're like, oh, thank you, you know, for this and that. But, I mean, it truly, we're thankful for them that they even have us in mind to want to do something, you know, that they're, it's just weird. It's weird that somebody wants to do something with you, you know, like it's like, you know, okay, cool. Like that's awesome. Like that's such an awesome feeling for us that you want to help out or that you want us to help you out, you know?
Yeah. That's kind of what we touched on with Noe's podcast too. Because he said that a lot of teams look for sponsorships. And he's like, man, I'll take all of them on. Like, and then sometimes he says that like the person that looks over his spending.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
You
His
need
advisor,
to chill, and he doesn't chill. Sometimes, like I told him, it doesn't make sense on paper.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense numbers wise, but it doesn't have.
It doesn't have to make sense. It's not all about the money.
If you would have wrote all of your ideas down, and then you wrote down the cost, and then before starting right here, it wouldn't have made sense on paper. It would have never made sense if you came to an investor and you're like, "Hey, like this is
this is
my
what
plan."
I have, yeah.
And then he would have looked at you like, you're crazy. Like I'm not gonna invest in that.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
But you brought that paper, you brought it to God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow.
You know what I mean? Instead of giving it to an investor, you gave it to the creator of the universe.
Oh yeah.
He was like, yeah, we can make that happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's an awesome way of putting it. Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's so true. Yeah. Because he's at the end of the day, he's the one that's going to say yes or no. You know,
Exactly.
everybody else is going to follow suit. Wow, that's awesome. That's a really great way of putting it.
Dude.
No, that's all. I've never heard
I just
anybody
blew
put it that way.
My own mind, bro. I've never said that before.
Like, amen.
I've never heard that. Yeah. Well, take that on the road, dude. Write it down, dude. Put it on the wall.
Put it on a shirt, dude.
Yeah. No, and a lot of things don't make sense on paper.
Yeah.
I've seen it for myself. My dad has seen it, you know, when he got his business in Yakima. He started in Yakima.
Okay.
He only had, you know, $6,000, you know, so.
Wow.
And to take over a carniceria, it takes way more than $6,000.
Yeah,
But somebody gave him the opportunity. They're like, hey, man, like we look at you as like a hard worker. Like you pretty much know everything you need to know. And he didn't think that, but the guy that was trying to sell it to him thought that about him. And he's like, wow, you really think that about me? Like, that's crazy. Like, let's get into it. And he ended up getting a business partner. And so they made it happen together. But like, was he able to see the vision that God had for him? No, but he had his own vision, and so he worked it out. And the fruit of his labor is here. This,
yeah,
you know what I mean? That I'm so grateful for my dad, and I'm so grateful for obviously God too. But he would have never been able to see this, like having a store on Clearwater, like
that's
then what is left to be done? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you're only good. I mean, how long have you been at that location?
on Clearwater?
Yeah.
2.5 years.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
that's
only
you know,
2.5 years still. Like,
that's just
still
a start.
baby,
Yeah.
a baby business. Like,
wow.
in the eyes of like people that like really analyze businesses, they're like, oh, you don't fully establish a business after like 5 years or whatever the number may be.
Minimum 3 is what
But
they
it's
say, right?
funny though, because like they have those parameters and those things. Like, oh yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it's like, dude, you don't know God's plan.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, but I appreciate you guys
Dude,
for your
no, yeah,
time. Is
of
there
course.
anything that you guys want to cover and final message for somebody starting a business, for somebody that wants to be an influencer of the community? What is your guys' message to them?
I mean, for me, I mean, what we're talking about is that sometimes fear holds you back, and people always think like the what ifs, and they always think like what if in the negative way. They always think, what if it doesn't work out? What if nobody shows up? What if I lose everything? You know, like the what ifs, right? They always are the what hold us back. One thing that I always think about is the what if it's the best decision what if you've ever made. Like, what if this changes your life forever? What if this is actually, you know, the generational changing? You know, and I'd rather think of the positive what if, you know, when it comes to those. And I feel like, you know, you just have to sometimes shift your mindset into that, because a lot of the times, again, the negative what ifs never even happen, and that's what held you back. But the what if on the good side is probably what's going to end up happening, you know, if you put your mind to it.
I like that.
No, I think anyone that's going to start a business or commit themselves to a goal, I think the biggest thing for them is to be true to themselves and be transparent in the process. Never try to fake anything, because you'll get lost. You'll get lost and you won't really commit or come through with a goal that you're trying to get to or achieve. And as a business owner, I mean, we've been very transparent with everything we've done and very transparent with our message and try to stick to it to this day. But yeah, I think being transparent and knowing when to perceive those other obstacles as like, yeah, they're little obstacles right now, but I know who I am and I know that I'm going to get through them with God's help.
I like that.
That's it.
You guys are truly blessed. Thank you guys for your time.
Well,
and
thank you.
Thank you guys for tea time, man.
Yeah.
No, thank you,
Thank
man.
you.